This video is about integer addition. That integers are whole numbers, and we're going to be looking at adding numbers together that are bigger than 10 and less than 1,000 really, but it can be used for any size number. The next slide will show you a couple of examples, but the process that we actually follow is shown here. We start at the right hand column, we total that column. If it's bigger than 10, we write the tens part in the next column along and the units part below. If it isn't bigger than 10, obviously that bit doesn't exist, and we just do the units part. We then check to see if we've finished. If there's no columns left. If it has, we stop. If there are more columns left, we go back to the next column along. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. Okay, so here are our examples. The first thing we do is we write them so it's one above the other. It doesn't matter with addition which one's on top and which is below. I've got to line up the units, the tens and the hundreds, etc. So it tells us in the algorithm, start at the right hand column and total the rightmost column. It actually means total the rightmost column that we've not totaled already. 6 plus 7 is 13. Is that greater than 10? Yes, it is. So write the tens in the next column. Well, there's only one 10 in 13, so we're going to put a 1 up here. Now some people put the 1 here, some put it here. It doesn't matter as long as it's in the same column. Then we've got to write the units below the column. So it was 13. The unit part of 13 is 3. Is the next column empty? Well, no, we've got all these things in it. So we move one column to the left. So we move over here and we get its total. 1 add 5 add 2 is 8. Is that greater than 10? No, it's not. So write the units column below. That's just the 8. There we go. Is the next column empty? No, we've got the 2 there, so move the next column over, total that column. Pretty easy, there's only one thing there, it's a 2. Is that greater than 10? No, write the units below the columns, it's just a 2, that's all we've got, and there's our answer, because the next column is empty, so we stop. Let's look at our next example. So we're just going to write one above the other. So there we go. I've got, this time I had the bigger number on top, this time I've got the small on top, because it doesn't matter. So we're going to total the right hand column. 7 plus 2 is 9, that's less than 10, so we just write the 9 below. Then we move on to the next column. 6 add 8 is 14, so that is greater than 10. So we're going to put the tens part over here, and then we're going to put the units part below the numbers, so that's a 4. We move over to the next column, and even though there weren't any numbers in the hundreds here, there are now, and there's a 1 in that column, so there's our answer, 149. I hope you found the video helpful. The video goes with a book that I'm writing for Year 9 Mathematics in New Zealand, and you can find a link to a copy of the book below, and that book is free for you to use and give to others. In the book you can find questions that go with this video, and in a link below this video you'll be able to find answers to those questions. Stay in Winfield with Winfield.